Alright, so I decided to do this little quick video here, mainly because there is nothing, I repeat, nothing online uh, that shows you how to swap out the starter on a 2011 to say 17 Grand Cherokee with a 5.7. So I thought I would do this video just to kind of show you. I'm kind of finished already, but just to kind of point out the tips and tricks here. The number one thing you're going to want to do is remove the transmission cross member. Support your transmission there, and take out the drive shaft. I was told that I needed to take the exhaust off of this side, but I did not have to do that. Your drive shaft is held on with 6 screws at each end. Mine was a little difficult to get out of the flanges. If you look here, you'll see that there's a groove. I was able to put a small angled pry bar there, and just use like a dead blow hammer and work that out. Same for this end, and it's kind of difficult to get to. I actually had to go from the front side and come back into it that way. There's also the little groove there. It was sort of difficult. Took some time. Just take your time and work it a little bit as you go there. And I also had to kind of pull on this, kind of pull it away from the flange on both ends, and that seemed to help to get it pulled out. Don't forget to mark your drive shaft on each end like this. That way you make sure you get it put in the same as you took it out. Now the starter itself, which is kind of hard to see right now, this silver little heat shield you see right there, the starter's behind that. Once you get the drive shaft out, you can actually, I was able to put my arm around the control arm here, back into the starter that way. But was able to do that to get to most of the bolts. When taking the starter out, once you get the starter loose, you can kind of see the well, I'm trying to get to where you can see the back bolts right there. Right there, you can see the 2 bolts, one right above the drive shaft bolt right there, and then the other is just to the left up here near that kind of rusty looking stud. Once you get those bolts out and get the wire loose from the front of the starter, it'll actually drop down. And the reason they say to take the exhaust off is so you can pull that starter out. But I was actually able to just slide the starter straight out the front of the vehicle, and it actually came out right over this sway bar, and just fell right out. So just stick the new one in the same way. Be careful with your wires, the cables that hook to it. The solenoid seemed to have been clocked a little differently on my replacement starter, so that made it sort of difficult to get it connected back. Had to sort of twist them around a little bit. Don't forget to put your heat shield back on the starter once you have it installed. And then when you're putting your drive shaft back in, like I said, just line up your marks there, and I used just a dead blow hammer just to tap it in, a little bit there, and it slid right into the flanges. I also took a little bit of sandpaper and some WD-40 and sanded the surface rust off of that edge, to make it, allow it to slide back into the flanges a little easier. But other than that, it's fairly straightforward, putting everything back. Hope this helps someone else. It took me a little while to figure it out, and a lot of frustration, but we've got it, and everything's working now. So I'm going to finish putting my cross member on and be done. Thanks.